By now, we all know that US and Israel have launched a combined attack on Iran and they have killed its supreme leader Ali Khamenei. Before 1979, Iran was actually a US ally and a secular country. However, in 1979, when Khamenei came to power, it all changed. He led to what Iran is today, a country which supports groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis, and a country which US and Israel sees as its major adversary. So Khamenei, when he came into power, he started to distance from US as well as Israel, and he started Iran's own missile program as well as nuclear proliferation program. This did not augur well with US and the tensions escalated until a treaty in 2015 when Iran agreed to limit its nuclear proliferation program. However, when Donald Trump first came to power, he walked away from that treaty in 2018, and since then tensions have continued to escalate. Today, US says that Iran has started further enrichment of uranium, making it to a grade which is sufficient to build weapons of mass destruction. And that is why last year and as well as this year they have launched attacks against Iran. Now, Iran has strategic geopolitical importance for India. What it means for India: 50% of India's oil comes from Strait of Hormuz, and any $1 increase in oil price effectively means up to $2 billion increase in India's fiscal deficit. So this is very critical commodity for India, and it has always been. Over last 10 years, India has definitely diversified its energy requirements, and its reliance on oil and oil's share of its import has definitely decreased. However, it still remains an important commodity. Secondly, India also has strategic ties with Iran, and it also has sponsored a port in Iran which is Chabahar port. This gives India entry into the central part of Asia, bypassing Pakistan. So that again is a specific geopolitical situation that India will have to handle. Iran's geographical location allows it a control over Strait of Hormuz, through which 50% of global oil supply is routed. And this has led to rise in oil prices. And at the same time, in its retaliation, Iran also attacked countries like Bahrain and Dubai, which were for long period considered as safe haven from people of Europe as well as the world. Now this can lead to a pressure on United States to de-escalate the conflict, and that was one of the strategic moves by Iran. So what should you do as an investor? Now, Indian markets have been correcting since September 2024. The broader markets have corrected more than 20-30%. Individual stocks have even corrected up to 50%. Now, at the same time, the earnings growth of large cap, mid cap, and small cap companies in India is decent double digit, and in the longer run, markets always reward earnings growth. In last year, both government and the RBI has given ample stimulus in terms of either tax cuts, GST cuts, or increasing liquidity. This should lead to consumption growth in India, which is one of the major drivers of GDP growth. We have also had two major trade deals signed this year, one with the United States and another one with the Euro. All this should augur well for the earnings growth of Indian companies. So if you are an equity investor and you are underweight equities, then this period is a good time to add into equities. If you are equal weight equities and because of this correction the weight has gone down slightly, then you can rebalance the portfolio and bring the portfolio to your desired equity weights. This I feel is definitely not a time to sell equities and go to safe haven assets like debt. You can continue to have some gold in your portfolio. If you haven't added into gold in last 1 year, then you can add gold by way of SIP or other systematic investment means. We don't support addition into silver at this juncture. Thank you.